Hello there, kia ora, and welcome to this week's The News. Last weekend, 3 Chinese warships were being monitored and tracked through international waters in the Tasman Sea by the Australian and New Zealand military after it was revealed that they were there unannounced with no prior warning given by the Chinese government. Said Defence Minister Judith Collins, seen here praying that people forget her husband is Samoan, so talofa. Yes, it's true, we did want to entice more Chinese visitors to the country, but the nice Chinese people who are one of our largest trading partners, not the scary ones with more military hardware on a single ship than we have in the entire country. The Ministry of Primary Industries launched an investigation into the school lunch program this week. The complaint involves meals for those with specific dietary requirements, with vegetarian meals containing meat and halal meals containing ham received by some schools. Said David Seymour, minister in charge of the program, seen here next to a convicted sex offender talking about how people just want to play the victim these days. They all got free things from the government that they didn't ask for. They should be thanking us, since we didn't tip off the Taxpayers Union about them. MPI has announced that they will no longer be sending new staff to New Zealand First MP Mark Patterson's office, but have been very clear that it is not the minister directly responsible for the issue. Said Patterson, seen here confused as to why he has a microphone when Winston Peters and Shane Jones told him that they'd do all the talking. As a member of New Zealand First, I thought it was my job to stir shit, but I didn't realise it was figurative and not literal, and all I can do is apologise for the smell. New citizens' arrest powers that seem to promote vigilantism that were this week announced by Justice Minister Paul Goldsmith, seen here super excited to be in this week's The News more than once this week, have been criticised by retail groups and the Police Association for putting the public at extra risk, while seemingly circumventing the issue of not being able to find new recruits to join the police force. While there are public concerns that groups linked with sovereign citizen beliefs and Destiny Church are celebrating this law as a win, granting them powers to intimidate and threaten people who oppose them without ramifications, which is clearly really different to what happens right now, Batman costume sales have skyrocketed since the announcement. Paul Goldsmith, seen here suddenly realising that maybe being mentioned twice in this week's The News this week may not actually have been a good thing, announced a bill on extending parliamentary terms to 4 years. If it passes the Select Committee stage and is passed, a referendum could be held in the 2026 election to come into effect in the term afterwards. Said both Chris's, seen here discussing polling numbers that put Labour in the lead over National, we support a 4-year term if it's us in power, but can you imagine the other side for 4 years? This week saw another round of verbal submissions on the Treaty Principles Bill. So far, the vast majority of submissions have opposed the divisive bill for a range of reasons, including legal ramifications, race relations, treaty settlement issues, social cohesion impacts, and institutional trust between treaty partners. So, of course, mainstream media has been platforming the worst possible people who are the minority that support the bill. Disgraced lawyer and leader of the Outdoor and Freedom Party, Sue Gray, seen here at the illegal Wellington occupation asking then Speaker Trevor Mallard to turn up the nickelback so everyone could enjoy it, was this week fined for breaching a name suppression order by the Lawyers and Conveyances Disciplinary Tribunal. In 2022, Gray was a vocal proponent against the use of vaccinated blood for a newborn known as Baby W. Under the current laws, any legal case that involves a minor has automatic name suppression for the child and parents to ensure privacy for the child. But Gray joined a live stream with disgraced former journalist Liz Gunn, seen here laughing all the way to the bank that allegedly has $40,000 less in the New Zealand Loyal bank accounts than before she visited the bank, where she named both the child and parent, which led to a wave of conspiracy theorists, some of which who want to be your local body elected representatives, also breaking the law and breaching name suppression. Gray was fined $1,500 for the transgression in order to pay $10,000 in costs. Said Gray, it's really hard to get idiots to give you money when there's so many others out there grifting. Asking, and are far better at it. So to support my cause, please leave unmarked notes in an envelope on my doorstep. Invercargill City Council has reported an increase in threatening behaviour and abuse with a rise of 29% since 2022. The majority of these have been through council phone systems, but animal control and parking enforcement officers have also noticed a marked increase. Said Invercargill Mayor Nobby Clark, seen here agreeing that it's not fair that people are so mean to a racist homophobe who said God had told him to become an evangelical minister on a beach in a conversation he claims that really happened, who once called firefighters second-class citizens, verbally attacked an event MC, criticised young people in authority, complained about Māori at a Julian Bachelor anti-co-governance till a stop, repeatedly used the N-word in an interview with Guy Williams where he also spouted homophobic slurs, and told Mana Whenua members that they had black privilege when he tried to remove speaking rights in council. Well, I have no idea why people would think that sort of behaviour has been normalised, but I'm quitting in October, so it's not my fucking problem. The government this week lauded its efforts to lower violent crime with a press release using police statistics that don't measure violent crime from a Twitter account as a source. Said Police Minister Mark Mitchell, seen here wondering if anyone would bother fact-checking his claims and realising that they fired all the fact-checkers to pay for tax cut for landlords. We said we'd use evidence to make our decisions. We never said that it had to be accurate or even honest evidence. Climate Change Minister Simon Watts, seen here overlooking what historians will one day call historically known as a beach before they vanish due to man-made climate change, has come under fire from environmental groups for saying that the Paris Climate Accords are really for big countries, not for ones our size. He followed that up with, thankfully because of rising sea levels, we'll get to be even smaller and less bound by climate change agreements, so it won't impact us at all. Private Cook Strait ferry operator Blue Bridge has cancelled 2 days of sailings over the past few days. Said a Blue Bridge spokesperson, well, at least there's up-to-date modern ferry options available from Inter-Islander that never seem to have any mechanical issues for when these things happen, and bigger, better ships due to arrive later this year. And finally, on Wednesday afternoon, an Air New Zealand flight from Auckland to New Plymouth reportedly became an impromptu delivery suite as an expectant mother gave birth mid-flight. Upon arriving in New Plymouth, the mother and child receive medical care and are expected to be fine. Air New Zealand are yet to confirm if they'll be charging her for an extra seat or extra carry-on. And that is this week's The News. Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you get more updates as we go along. We deal with these guys for the rest of the year.